Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to our episode number 9 of the Ninja Wealth Exchange. Here with me is your host, Lore, and of course, myself, Johnny Vang. We're sitting here with our good friend who's breaking barriers inside of the commercial real estate industry. And so we wanted to introduce you to Kayde. I think that it's pronounced Souvanny. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Okay.
Kayde Souvanny.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks for joining us today. So, um, we know that you're in EXP as well as in the commercial industry down in the Texas area. I believe Dallas. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this business and some of your challenges and successes? We'd love to hear some of the things that you have going on, and then of course we have plenty of questions for you to go over how you even got into the business. So um, go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Yeah, so of course I'm a part of EXP Commercial. I am a wife first and a form, basically a mom of twins. I have a daughter that is 11-year-old as well. So three kids on my behalf and my husband's. I'm a former
Awesome.
corporate executive, which turned into commercial real estate partner as well as a certified mentor. How I started in this was I was in the corporate world and I just was just wanting more and more. And I've had the opportunity to get my real estate license since I was 18. But due to corporate world, it was always a conflict of interest of having my license. So once, they started having a turn in the corporate industry, I was like, well, this is my opportunity to just put on my real estate hat and keep it rock and rolling. So I got my license, and next thing I was just like, well, this is where it all began. I'm super passionate about helping others and building wealth and freedom through real estate as well. So super big on mindset, discipline, and proving that consistency and purpose is like it can completely change your life in this game. So yeah, that's just a little bit about myself.
Sweet, sweet. I didn't know you had 3 kids. That's super awesome.
And
And
twins.
twins. That's
Oh, you did it?
Oh,
no. That's super cool. Like,
Yeah.
I know a couple of people that have twins, and they're like, it's so I have 3 kids myself, right? And, my kids were 2 years apart each, and that was already a lot to work with. I couldn't imagine having 2 simultaneously. That sounds crazy,
Well,
but
my boys are 4. My
okay.
daughter's 11, so 3 kids is a game changer. So hands down to you, Johnny, because it takes a whole village.
No doubt, right?
Right, right.
Super
It's a
cool.
game changer. It's a game changer for sure.
No, awesome. Congrats on the kids, on the family. That's super awesome. I dig that. And then you said you were in the corporate world. Um what do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been in the corporate world for some time, and I was a corporate executive for one of the. They were more of a concierge services in multifamily. So pretty much what I did was I ran like it's kind of like operating my own business, right? I was held accountable for about 90 plus on my team, just basically as a doorstep collection for multifamily, but I managed the staff. So it's like 90 plus that I'm always managing about 50 different multifamily properties as well. So pretty much it was a game changer as well because, when you are a corporate executive working with that many people, you actually have different personalities that you got to deal with every single day. So you're like a counselor, problem solving, just wearing many hats throughout the entire day.
Yeah, no, it's super tough to be running a team. I know I didn't have 90, and you said 90 employees under you? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's freaking
the
that's
way.
a ton of people. That's a ton of people and a ton of emotions, right? I think the team that I carried, the biggest one was probably about 30 people. And man, the amount of things that you got to just like even just emotions, right? That was like probably the toughest challenge for me was managing, like, so I'm very business driven and very numbers driven, right? So when they come to me with emotions, I don't know how to like how to handle that. Um
Right.
and that just becomes crazy. So did you, I take it you handled it super well. That's why you got up to 90 people, right?
Yeah, I think it's more of the people that I was handling. Because I mean, basically, I'm always that type of person that likes to, hey, if they are working for me, I need to know who they are. It doesn't matter about the number. It's kind of like you want to make that one-on-one conversation because at the end of the day, they appreciate that, right? They're just
Yeah,
not a number. It's more of like, hey, I've met her in person and I've shook her hand and she's actually gave me some, pointers or whatnot. So it makes a big difference, I feel.
that's super awesome. Super awesome. All right, so I'm gonna switch this over to Laura. Laura, you have some questions for Katie?
Yeah. So, Katie, thank you so much for being here. Right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So you're our first commercial real estate guest here on our show, right? And here in our show, we're all about building wealth through real estate, right? Which is exactly what you do. And one of the reasons why I wanted to really get you on the show was because in the commercial real estate world, it's a lot like the good old boys club, right? Most people in the commercial real estate world are your old white males, right? And you don't fit into any of that, right? So and you have a lot of energy about you and everything. So that's kind of why we wanted to bring you on, because you're like different, right? You break that mold, that traditional mold. Um, so it's great to hear your corporate background. So what is your niche in the commercial real estate side of things?
So my niche, I would say, I've been in the game for a decade, so I have dabbled in it all. But retail, industrial, multifamily, and new developments is where my portfolio builds up on. Pretty much, I help the business owners, investors find locations, help them scale, and pretty much as you built your clientele, your portfolio, so they come and need as they need, right? So with me being in the game for so long, I'm able to capture in different categories because I've experienced it all. So that's the number one thing that I can say is, but mainly retail, industrial, multifamily new developments is what I touch currently. We do have other teams as well that focus on just land and farm also. So pretty much, we have the connections if, there's something that we haven't, maybe taken a look at, or maybe we're not in that segment, but definitely we have doors open to all of commercial.
Oh, nice. Those are some really good asset classes in commercial. Um, so in your experience along your journey, how has that been for you as, a woman and also a minority in the commercial real estate world? What unique challenges have you, had to deal with, or what advantages have you, found being different, right?
Yeah, I must say, number one thing is it's a man's industry, as you said, yes, but the challenge was representation. Basically, not seeing many people who look like us females that are out there, basically doing commercial real estate, right? Out, like I said, it's all men. And for a woman to stick out at a networking event, it's like, what is she doing here, right? We did have to deal with that. When I say we, one of my partners as well, when we're doing CRE at the time when we first started. And we're like, okay, so how do we actually break this concrete barrier, right? Pretty much you had to be in that network group and you had to continue and be consistent and always show up, but also have your mentors, like who you make sure who is your mentor. I'm just blessed. I got to give a shout out to Daniel and Calvin because that's who started my commercial real estate journey. They gave me the opportunity to be able to grow and build with them until today. They were my mentors, but now they're my partners. So that has to tell you something about me being in
Nice.
the world.
That's super
Awesome.
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 Super awesome.
So I did see in your LinkedIn, I looked up your LinkedIn, and like, yeah, you were with Sperry, right? With them at Sperry?
Yes, yes. So that was like, man, like almost 8, 9 years ago, when we first started there. And yeah, Sperry was amazing. That's, the office and building where I'm at right now. That's exactly where my commercial real estate, gave birth.
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, so commercial real estate world is so much different from the residential real estate world, right? A lot of normal people, even real estate agents who are on the residential side, they don't understand how different the commercial world is, right? It's kind of like the wild, wild west. They don't have the National Association of Realtors, right? They don't really have rules that they play by, right?
Right.
And it's very relationship based, like you mentioned. You have to show up to things and build relationships and network, right? To find these deals off market, like we were talking about before the show started.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. And then, like you said, right, one of the most important things, you got to find your mentor, right? People to help you and support you to grow. So Johnny, I'll pass it back to you. Johnny, ask the next question here.
Yeah. So, can you walk through a deal with us? Like, what does it look like? Because the honest truth is that I think most people kind of get an idea of how a residential transaction happens because a lot of people are out there buying houses, but you don't get as many business people who are buying anything from multifamily to retail space to, I mean, you name it, anything that's commercial. It's just there's less knowledge around that. So could you walk us through like a possible deal that you might have done, whether it's recently or something in the past that you can share?
Any niche?
Um, like I'm not 100% sure what you've done so far. So like I think how about let's go over a retail one, like
Okay.
a retail space. Yeah.
Let's see. So okay. So I did a deal, on a franchise deal. So I work with a lot of franchises as well. They're always looking for multiple locations throughout Texas. Sometimes they go out of state. I always refer them out, of course, to our EXP partners. Pretty much, one of the deals I can say it was driven based off of relationship base. I must say that there's different buckets in the commercial world. That's why I say relationships. It's just not with our partners, like brokers, other brokers in other companies as well, but with our clients as well too, but the brokers also. Because when you're catching a deal, I was working with this franchise and they already had, they were at lease, basically. It was a lease.
Okay.
The deal was already at lease. And then I just happened to give him a ring and say, hey, I need something like ASAP, square footage, what do you have for me? And they're like, oh, you know what? We have this one. We're at least that we haven't gotten it back yet. But here, let me push this deal to you. I have a relationship with that broker to where we close multiple deals together and it just gets to the green light, no problems, no issues, no nothing. Something told me to call him that day because I just, you just have your intuition.
Mhm.
And basically, I was like, okay. He was like, you know what? Submit an offer and I will run it to the landlord. Let me tell you, whoever represented the other person on the other side, I'm not saying like it was good for them, it's bad for them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's relationship based. So
Mhm.
basically, we got the deal. He ran my deal to the green light and we closed on it within less than 48 hours. So basically, they were already at least. My advice on this is if I didn't have that relationship with the broker, he wouldn't have helped me out. He wouldn't help me run it to the finish line. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
make sure you have good relationships, not with just your clients. You must have it with the broker as well, because at the end of the day, they're going to help you out to the T to get you where you need to be.
So let's run this back. Let's run this back. So how did you get to know this franchise group and how did you like did you guys submit like a LOI or is this because it's a lease you just called the broker and went over a quick synopsis and then sent over a contract or how does that look at the very beginning or at the initial conversation?
So I got the deal through a referral. So basically, like I said, my business is based off of referrals or my previous clients that, they just, keep on needing to add more to their portfolio.
Sweet.
So basically, it was a referral. And then
Mhm.
I did my search. I email blast to brokers and tell them what I'm looking for, whatnot, or even call them and say, hey, what's going on? You have a list of brokers that have multiple listings or off market listings. Be like, hey, I'm looking for something. Is something coming up? And this one here, I had a good relationship with him because I met him since my beginning of my commercial real estate career. And we've always kept touch. We've closed multiple deals together and we've never had any issues. So he knows that it's going to be a good close.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah. So, I want to give you a little bit of my experience, right? So, I do mainly residential, right? But sometimes we get a commercial that runs across our desk, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. When I call them and they're like, "Are you a commercial agent?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not a commercial agent." They're like, "I don't even want to talk to you," right? Like,
Right.
they're like,
I
"Can
know.
you pass the deal on to a commercial guy, and we'll help you," right? And they're like, don't waste my time. And sometimes you're like, hey, like I have to call them like 5 times 10 times before I'm like, I'm really serious about this. You need to open the door so I can bring my clients through, because I don't have that relationship with them because I'm a residential person, right?
Right.
um and so, like, when you're in commercial, it sounds like you really, really have to have that connection already and have established yourself in the business. So it sounds like you really stepped out there, got yourself, connected to the people inside of the community where you can have conversations and actually get really, really good deals for your clients, even ones that where it may not be possible because they're already going under lease or something, but then you're able to step in and actually take the spot, which is phenomenal. That's super awesome. That says a ton about you. So
Thank you.
I think that's super, super cool. Great like scenario, and it's just great to hear that you're already established in the community. Laura, do you have other questions?
Yeah, so just curious, like, Johnny and I, we're both on the residential side, right? So we kind of know how our typical days look like.
Mhm.
What's a typical day for a commercial real estate agent? You guys out there on the golf course, like whining and dining all the time, or what's going on?
Man, you want to hear about golf course stories? That's where the deals get done now.
Exactly. What
Um,
I heard. Daniel lives on a golf course, right?
well, a little bit about me. My day starts early, 5 a.m. workouts. I do mindset work. And, I also day trade basically in the morning before, New York opening. And then before I dive into my real estate. So real estate, probably about 10 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m. is whenever I hop on. And then, it's client calls, property tours, and negotiations. But every deal is different, but the core is the same. Basically, finding win-win solutions and keeping communication clear. Like I balance business with family, and that's kind of like a non-negotiable type of thing. Because family, of course, always comes first. Because at the end of the day, you can have this successful business, and I've been through it before, to where I was all about my business, but what about my family? So definitely family is key point at the end of the day.
I love that. I think that anybody that wants to do business with you, if they understand that your family comes first, they'll understand that when they run into a situation, their family comes first as well, right? And that you're there for them and their family in the same way. And you find them like, super important to make sure you care for them because family does come first. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so what do you think is the most rewarding part of your career, like what you do?
To be honest, seeing their vision come to life for my clients, right? Is that what you're asking?
Mhm, mhm.
Yes. So for my clients, I mean, seeing their vision come to life, whether it's helping a small business owner open their first location or an investor that's going to close on a multi-million dollar property, usually it's just watching their dreams turn into reality. And that's what fuels me inside.
That's so cool. So are you there for like their ribbon cutting for their grand opening and everything for their businesses?
I make the time, I carve it out, and I'm there, red ribbon cutting. I mean, we have the mayor come out, the whole city, I just different various clients. Some people do red ribbon, some people don't, because I have
Mhm, mhm.
multiple investors that's opening like 5 businesses at once, right? They're like, piece of cake, I don't need that, right? But I still show up. I still support them. I mean, like I had one of my clients, he closed on a car wash, right? And he knew nothing about the car wash industry. And I had to sit down with him and actually guide him and help him with the whole 9 yards because he was trying to find something different. But at the end of the day, like I said, he found that that's what he's good at. He became good at that he never knew existed. So
Sweet. That's so
being in
cool.
commercial real estate can actually, it's more into it than you think it is.
Yeah, I mean here at Ninja Wealth Exchange, we're here to, help people build their wealth. And I think that you're doing that by, helping people with their businesses and with their commercial real estate needs. That's huge. Like I think, it's part of like I think what people don't understand is that real estate goes so far. And when you have a business established and a place where your business actually runs and people can come to you to receive the services or the products that you provide, it's huge. And especially if it becomes like your dream, like to
Right.
have an agent at your side who knows what they're doing and what they're talking about and can help negotiate for you. I think that's huge. That's so um like I mean it goes so far to have that.
Right.
And then what is it? I guess the next question would be, do you currently invest in commercial real estate yourself?
Yes, definitely. You must. You have to. When you're in the game, it's a must. And it's taught me like I can say, it's taught me the importance of underwriting, patience, and long-term vision as well. As an investor, you think beyond the transaction. You focus on cash flow, stability, strategy, and it makes me a stronger commercial partner because I understand both perspectives. At the
Nice,
end
nice.
of the day.
So I heard in the commercial world, it's all about the numbers. Do you find that that's true?
Yep, because a lot of my investors and clients, they don't care how it looks. They're like, I don't care. As long as the numbers make sense, we're running it. We're gonna run with it. So it is a numbers game. I gotta be honest about that.
All
And
right, sweet.
numbers and narrative, because like I said, it must align, right? Cap rate, rent roll, expenses. But I mean, you got to look at the story behind the building that you're maybe buying too, because you don't know what happened. Because let's say, for instance, maybe they're selling that building because it was inherited to them and they don't know how to run it. That's like gold.
Hmm.
That's a gold mine for you.
Hmm.
So the deal should make sense both financially and strategically.
All
Yeah.
right, so I have a quick question here, just
Okay.
because you're talking about commercial real estate terms here. So
Mhm.
for people who don't understand the differences between how residential real estate is valued by comps, right? So similar sold comps. You were talking about the numbers in commercial real estate. Can you quickly explain, Katie, how valuations are made in commercial real estate?
Yes. Key formula that you must know is our cap rate. And cap rate is kind of like what is the profit that you're going to make on it annually? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Basically that's what cap rate is. And that formula is the sales price, the net operating income divided by the sales price is what's going to give you that cap rate. Right now in the market, what we're looking for is about a 7 is good, but what you were seeing is like a 6, 6.5, maybe. I mean, you'll see 5s all day, of course, right? But when you get that client that's like, okay, send me anything, I'm ready to buy, give me a 10 cap. It's like, okay, yeah. Okay. So if you don't know what you're talking about and they're asking for that and you're like, yeah, I'll send it to you, they're gonna know that you're like, BASing basically. Because it's like finding a needle in a haystack. They're there, but you'll find it.
Yeah, yeah. So another very interesting thing about commercial real estate that a lot of even residential investors don't understand is pro formas, right? When you're looking at commercial offering memorandums, right, and you're looking at the projections on the numbers of this deal, a
Right.
lot of your residential investors are like, they think that's it, the property, the deal is being sold on actual numbers, right? Can you
Yeah.
kind of talk about that? Why is it so different in commercial real estate? Why is it pro forma based?
Um, well, I want to say like basically on an OM, performa is basically on it's different because residential, let's say you have a lease, right? And usually y'all's lease is like a year, right? And it renews. But you guys don't have rent increases automatically in that renewal or in that contract. So let's say you are trying to, lease a space for your business, right? You're trying to open a mortgage brokerage office for yourself. And you're like, hey, if I'm going to buy it, if I'm going to rent here, you want to sign at least a 5-year lease. Usually it's 5 years because a lot of landlords, they don't want the little 2 or 3 year lease. It's very difficult to find those. And if you do find it, your rent is going to be super high. They're going to increase it. So you'll sign like a 5 year, maybe they'll fix it for 2 years and it'll step up and increase every year. So every year that increases, the new buyer is going to look at that rent roll and be like, okay, well, they're at $20 per square foot, but they're going to be at $30 by the time they're on their 5th year. So basically they're making their money annually, right? So that's a big difference because the rent roll the money is coming in, but it's taking time to come in. But with
Correct.
residential, you only have that 1 year commitment.
Good
Big
points. Yeah. I think so. I just listed one of my own mixed use commercial buildings, but it's kind of interesting because I had like over 20 showings, right? And some of the agent comments from their buyers was like, oh, place looks kind of beat up, or some of the machines are like not operable. But it's like we're selling it based on projections after you do the work, right? The value add component, right?
Right.
And some investors fail to see the value add component. They're just looking at the way it is right now. They're not looking at it, oh, well, if I take this and I do this and do that, and I have a game plan to build this business to get more NOI in there, now it's going to be valued more, right? So that's
Right.
kind of what they're missing out on. So that's what I was, a lot of residential people don't understand that. So
Yeah. Congratulations. Woo!
yeah, thanks. It's actually under contract right now, so we'll see.
That's amazing. See, you got some commercial real estate in your skin as well.
Yeah, I've done a little bit. I actually have owned a 12-unit apartment before, and I've done syndications. Actually, I had a 90-unit apartment complex in Dallas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
me know next time you're looking in Dallas. I know somebody who can represent you.
For sure, of course. So, all right, cool. Let's move on to talking about if you're out there, you're watching this, right? Whether you're already an agent or maybe you just whether you're on residential side or you're actually just looking to jump into the commercial real estate world, right? You want to bypass all the boring residential stuff. Let's talk about, what tips can you recommend for somebody to be the next Kayde Souvanny, right? What do we need to do here?
Start where you are. You don't need to know everything. Okay. You have to find the right mentor, though. Learn the basics and take action because confidence comes from the work while you're doing a deal. You just have to always remember every top broker, they once started with 0 deals, you know. So, you can rock this, you can rock the show as, wherever you want to be, you can get there.
Yeah. So that's, the mentor part is great, but some people they think that if they get the right mentor or they have a mentor, they think it's just easy street right away, right? But
No.
you still got to do some work, right?
You got to show up and
Mhm.
show up. You just got to show up to everything. I mean, you got the mentor. The mentor is going to tell you what to do, and you just got to listen to them from point A to Z
Exactly.
and do the work.
Yeah. So, I mean, something we talked about a little bit earlier when you mentioned in your story is like, obviously you're a woman, you're a minority, and you're going to these rooms, these networking events where there's not a whole lot of people that look like you, right? Or us, right? Asians, minorities, right?
Yeah.
Um, it can feel intimidating, right? To be in that situation. What's your advice for people to just show up and be in those rooms, right? What's your advice on that?
Right now, because it was about, a decade ago, like, it was a lot harder for us because social media was not a super big thing. It was there, but we weren't leveraging it, right? So I would say leverage social media in the community, join groups, attend events, and connect with people that's already doing what you want to do. Representation matters. So I make it a mission to mentor and open doors for others as well.
Nice. Yeah, you're a certified mentor, right?
Yeah, I am with the XP
Awesome.
Sweet.
Cool. So if somebody's out there looking to get a mentor in commercial real estate, we have somebody for you.
Yes. Just got to show up.
No doubt, right? No doubt. Show up and make sure you work hard too.
Do the work.
I remember when I had reached out to a friend of mine. This is when I was in my banking days, right before I actually moved over to real estate. And I was talking to him, and he was a commercial guy, and he did the industrial stuff. And he's like, I was like, so how do I get in? And he's like, oh, just cold call. Just call every business out there. And I was like, what? Like, that's intimidating. That's like super intimidating. How do I do that? And he's like, just get on the phone, man. You got to get on the phone. You'll learn on the way. And I was like, okay.
Okay, I got to share something about a cold call.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Yeah.
So my first cold call was my first client on my first deal, and I got it. The first call, I got the first meeting, and I got the first deal, and that deal was a $5 million deal.
Dang.
Heck yeah.
Not yet. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So I built the relationship with him, and he's like, you need to meet my kids. So he has like, I was like 10 kids. Okay. This man, like, no, he has a lot of kids. So he introduced me to his son. I had a meeting, and then we went to lunch. Sat there with him and his son, got to know him and his son, and come to realize he had over 50 shopping centers in the DFW.
Wow.
So, I was just trying to be cool and be like, oh, okay. But, inside I'm just like, what? I'm on check. So long story short, he introduced me to his family, and I built this relationship with all of his kids. And his daughter actually has became like one of my good friends, like we're sisters basically. So that one deal came into like multiple deals, but they do real estate as well. So they send me all their commercial referrals, so it's like,
Cool.
I'm like, some people, they don't want to learn commercial because they say it's a whole nother animal, which it is. So they're just going to hand it off to you. Here. Like, that's it. Yeah. So long story short, that's what happened with my cold call. So you never know.
Yeah. So make that first cold call.
Is that still the case, Kayde? In today's world of social media, everything, is commercial real estate world still a lot of cold calling to get business, or what do you find these days?
Were you guys at the commercial EXP ComCon?
Yeah.
So did you hear what Bob Kanako said? Bob Kanako is the billionaire. He like closed $1 billion and like over 2,200 properties. So he said, cold calling never goes cold. He did 100 calls every week. If it was by phone, email, whatever it was, he said, no matter how this business shifts with AI and all that, you continue to keep cold calling. And that came from his, himself on stage. And Bob Kanako, he's a very successful human out there. So in the commercial world. So I'm guilty. I don't do it as much as I should be doing it, but I'm teaching my people to do
it. Sweet. Heck yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I think that's a huge takeaway, right? That's a huge takeaway for people that are in the commercial real estate industry, or people who want to get in. Like, you can't be afraid to pick up the phone and have that first conversation. It might just be your first $5 million deal that leads into multiple $1 million deals
Yes.
just because, yeah, you made that one phone call. And I think that's huge. That's
Yeah.
super awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, I mean, whether you generate your lead right on social media through video or email, whatever, at the end of the day, the conversation always comes back to the phone, right? You
Right.
always got to have a phone call with that person, right? Or Zoom or whatever, right? And if you can't, communicate properly with that client, potential client, the lead, you're not going to get the deal, right? So,
Right.
but yeah, so I was going to ask something else, but I lost my train of thought here.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah. Any other questions you have, Johnny?
Yeah. So in the commercial world, you guys work with attorneys often, right?
Yes,
Is that
1000%.
like every deal?
So my best friends are my attorneys. Just because we're not an attorney. We always
Right.
guide them because after, let's say the situation is you have a lease, right? You close the deal on the lease. Before you close on it, you get the lease execution. You email it to your client. You always have to advise your client to have their lease reviewed by an attorney because we're not an attorney. We can't tell them, hey, what I do is I match up all the terms on our LOI to match up on the lease. All the other language, it's kind of like, a different language. So we can't explain that to them. So as long as we have that in email that we emailed that to them and told them to get seek professional advice, we're good to go,
Okay.
and that way they can't come back to you and say, hey, we didn't know about this part. Well, your attorney was supposed to advise you of that part. So you always want to protect your client too.
That's super awesome. So how do you vet out attorneys? Like, how do you determine who's a good attorney and who's not a good attorney? Because there's like, I've met attorneys out there, and some of them, they just want to be a part of the deal, right? They're not actually doing a service to your clients. And like, how and when would you know this? Like, I assume you've been in the industry for a really long time, so you probably can catch it right away. But if they're a first time commercial agent, how do they know? Like, what are some signals that they need to watch for from attorneys to find out whether the attorney's really good or not, or whether, like, do you even get involved between your clients and their attorneys? Do you find them a new one if they're not getting along? Like, how far do you go for your clients as a commercial agent?
I mean, of course, I go above and beyond, like
Mhm.
all 1000% for all of my clients, no matter how small or big the deal is, because I always got to protect them. But at the end of the day, I've been in it for almost a decade now. So I do work with certain attorneys that I built relationships with and that I always get good feedback, right? Anyone that I've gotten terrible feedback from is kind of like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm not sending any more that way. Or I'll feel them out myself and see what's going on. Maybe they didn't get the email, maybe there was a disconnect or something like that. But pretty much, I have a good solid team on my legal side as well. But just to give advice to somebody that's new out there, that's trying to look for attorneys, you need to build the relationship with the attorney. You know what I mean? Because when you text them or something that you can call and text and be like, hey, I have a client that is interested and needs assistance in, reviewing a lease, yada, yada, yada. At least they send you a text back and say, yes, okay, go ahead and send them to me or go ahead and make the connect, right? Because sometimes if you're sending the attorney's contact to your client and they don't call them back in a week or two, time kills deals. If
Yeah,
you're not
absolutely.
getting that lease reviewed in that same week, or honestly, I say 24 hours is the turnaround time for me to be like, hey, have an attorney review it. If you have to wait longer than that, it's like you need to find another one. I understand attorneys are all busy, but at the same time, you're able to at least send an email or a text and say, hey, I'm going to get to it and give a certain time frame. So, my advice is always, always, always try to build relationships with these attorneys because my attorneys will jump through hoops for me. If I need it done in like an hour or be like, hey, I have a deadline, I need it now. This person needs help. He's like, I'm on it. Tell him to give me a call right now. That's the type of relationships I have right now with attorneys.
Yeah, no, I think that's so huge. I know that one of my clients out in New York, right? So like I know that I'm a residential person, but I also do loans and so I do commercial loans too, right? And so I have a client out in New York and they purchased I think it was like a 12 unit and so I was helping her with the finances and in New York, they don't use title companies and they don't use like these like they have to have attorneys involved and the lender has to have an attorney, the borrower has to have an attorney, the sellers have to have an attorney. And my experience with attorneys in New York is they take forever. Like just
There's showstopper out there.
yeah, but I
Yes,
mean it's
yes.
yeah, if you can get an attorney that can turn things around in 24 hours, that is like that would be amazing. That would be amazing. And so having that like you said, having them as your best friends and having them be able to, return your calls as well as, text back and confirm things. Um man, like I guess in the residential world, we don't deal with attorneys quite as often. It's only once in a while
Mhm.
you run across someone that has a trust, and so we gotta get the attorney involved or something like that. But it's not very, it's like very, very limited that we even have a conversation with an attorney. And of course, like I have to understand a certain level of legal information to make sure that my clients are having their best foot forward because, of course, we have fiduciary responsibility. But we don't usually have to go across an attorney. So it sounds like just like 99% of your deals should go through an
Yeah,
attorney, or at least you have to advise them to seek some legal counseling, right? Or
yeah,
advice. Right?
yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you.
1000% on the commercial side. CYA.
No doubt.
So it sounds like it's a little bit easier on the commercial side. You just kind of pass it off to your attorney, and you don't really have to. You
Yep.
don't. You're on residential side. We're always filling out contracts. Okay, we're like, yeah, okay, here we go.
You know
Or,
what? I walked through how you guys do a commercial, I mean, a residential contract, and I was just like, this is why I stick to commercial. Hands down
I,
to you guys. Y'all got it. Y'all are the goat. Y'all are the goat.
Oh, I
It's
yeah,
appreciate
like,
yeah.
that.
how many
Now,
pages is that? What are
now,
you
now
filling
you
out?
got me thinking. I might have to switch over here pretty soon. Here.
Hey, come on.
Um,
We're growing. We're glowing
so
and growing.
so we're talking
Sweet.
about we're talking a lot about the success and the good things that happen on the commercial real estate side of things, right? But let's be realistic for a little bit here. Obviously on the residential side, sometimes as a residential agent, you can go 1 month to 3 months to maybe even 6 months without a deal closing, right? Your next check coming in or whatever, right? I've heard commercial real estate is even longer than that potentially. Is that accurate? What can you kind of paint the picture for somebody coming into this to think it's not as easy? Like it's not, you're not going to get $5 million right away.
Yeah. I think everybody's story is different. Like somebody's chapter 10 can't compare to your chapter 1. I feel that, yes, it depends on the amount of work, you showing up and you doing the work. But at the end of the day, some deals fall through the cracks. I have this rule of thumb that, me and my partners, we always make it a rule a day, like every single day. This is literally our number one rule. You must make 5 new contacts a day, like 5 new contacts. They're like, what? How do I do 5 new contacts? Think about it. If you go to the gas station, um, 99% of the time, to be real honest with you, I run into the owners, you know, or if, you're going into a retail center or something, you can ask, is the owner here? Would they be open to maybe looking to sell their business or looking for another opportunity? I mean, prospecting is the number one thing. So yeah, 5 contacts a day is a thing for us. Now, closing the deal, like I said, it really depends, because every situation is different. As in my case, I'm just grateful for my mentors that deals just came flowing. It was just like a magnet. It just kept coming. And I can say I was probably in the game for a month or two and I got my first deal. But I must say that, I got my first deal to where I didn't even know how I was going to get paid. I didn't even know what a lease looked like. I didn't even know what an LOI looked like. I'm be real firm and honest. But I found those out while I was doing the, working through the deal, and that's how you learn.
Oh yeah, that's how you
So
learn.
everybody's, chapters are different. You could close a deal, you hop on board and get your commercial license, and then you have a prospect or a client that, it's like, hey, since you're doing commercial real estate, can you help me? You may close a deal in like a month or 2 weeks.
Sure.
I picked up a client, it was a referral, of course, and he needed a space ASAP. I closed that deal within like 5 days, less than 5 days,
Wow,
you know.
that's amazing.
But every landlord moves different. So it
Mhm,
depends on
mhm.
that as well, because some landlords can drag their feet on the lease. Some just get it to the finish line.
Got it. No, those are very good points. Very good points. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your goals moving forward, both personally and professionally?
So professionally, I'm looking to build, of course, nationwide commercial real estate team under the EXP model. I'm Connection Group. So basically, a little story behind Connection Group, and why I chose that name basically was because, we're out here making connections in different buckets, right? We have our
Mhm.
brokers, we have our residential agents, we have our clients, networking. So we're inputting our time into separate buckets, but at the same time, connection is basically indicating like, hey, if we cannot help you here at Connection Group, then we will bridge the gap to find the perfect person that can actually help you in what you need. So it's not all about a commission check for us or closing that deal.
Mhm.
We're just trying to build the connection to wherever you need to be that's going to help you grow or reach your goals. And
Love that.
and basically also scaling my mentorship program to help 100 plus agents to reach six figures. I want to help everybody get there. And personally, it's about balance, continue to grow, travel with my family, and build generational wealth with our EXP model. EXP model is like the game changer, right?
Right. Right. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
so true.
that's great. I mean, especially the EXP, right? So a lot of people may not know or may not be familiar, but EXPs in 50 states, right? One brokerage. Uh, we have the commercial division, which is an entirely separate business model, right? Different from residential. So like, we keep everything separate. Residential, commercial separate. But however, obviously we can do referrals, things like that. But I
I
mean,
mean,
oh, go ahead.
the glory of it is we're able to partner up. Like
Hmm.
you're in Minnesota. If you have a commercial deal, or if I have a commercial client out there, hey Laura, let's partner up on this deal.
Hmm.
So basically I'm not there in Minnesota, but we can still partner up on it.
Mhm.
And I know my clients are going to get 1000% great service out there, instead
Right.
of just Googling a broker out there and crossing their fingers that they're going to treat them right.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's something that's cool on the commercial side is that when you do referrals, right, you don't necessarily need to refer it to a commercial agent. You can refer it to a residential agent as long as they have a commercial license.
Right.
I mean, sorry, as long as they have a real estate license, you can mentor them and you can kind of quarterback the deal through them, right?
Exactly. I'll tell them
Uh,
run how to run the play. Yeah.
Even though you're in Texas, I'm actually in Wisconsin, by the way.
Oh, you are?
But
Okay.
Johnny's in Minnesota. Johnny's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, there's lots of ways we can do it, and then of course, gonna name drop our the founder of EXP, right, James Wong, right? He's
Yep.
building something international scale, right? International
Yep.
commercial real estate, right? And so now we're connecting all the dots from not just US, but yeah, everywhere
Yep.
potentially. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I have another question, right? So to piggyback off of, your professional development. Um It sounds like you're building a team. So is it possible for people from out of state to work with your team or to be in your team? Or is it just like Dallas focus? Or is it, like specific licensing requires you to be only in Texas? Or how does that work in commercial? I know how it works in residential, but I just wanted to follow up with how that works from a team perspective in commercial.
I mean, sky's the limit, right?
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
model, actually gives us the opportunity. Like I have listings in Miami with a partner right now, and that's because that partner is in the residential side as well. So like you said, how would I help another partner in another state, right? They have their license. I just tell them how to run the play and just go by basically our commercial rules and guidelines, right? And basically they're residential agent out there, but they're trying to learn commercial. So, yeah, much the mentorship. I mean, as far as being able to be out of state, I'm open. I mean, I have Zoom calls. I have one-on-ones through Zoom as well. And, I have a C101 class that I do teach. I just finished in the summertime, we finished a commercial academy that I hosted as well. So pretty soon, probably going to be hosting a 2.0 commercial academy soon.
Let's go.
That's like in the works, but yeah, definitely. You don't even have to be in the States. I'm building internationally too. So
Oh, heck yeah. That's so awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for
it's our model. It's the sky's the
yeah.
limit. Like Leo says, he, our CEO, he's basically telling us like, hey, sky is the limit. You could build anywhere. So we could move to Paris, we can move to Dubai, wherever we want to go. We could do real estate and build our teams out there. So, name another brokerage that you can do that.
Right.
Yeah. There isn't. There isn't one that's worldwide.
Exactly. And it's just, I'm telling you, it's just amazing what this platform does, not just for us, but for our kids too, because it's going to be there.
Super cool.
So I thought there was some kind of announcement that EXP Commercial announced where they could you could pretty much build a cross team, like you could have groups, they call it. Are you familiar with that?
Yes. So I'm basically Connection Group. Okay. So I'm EXP Commercial, but I have my own team, which is Connection Group as well, brokered by EXP Commercial. So pretty much, it's basically having your own brokerage, but not having all that other stuff you have to worry about, right? Yeah. When you run your own solo brokerage. I mean, I've been there before, running and operating a solo brokerage, running a commercial division. I've been there, and it was nice and dandy and all that. But how I got to EXP Commercial was because I was Sperry at first, and then COVID happened. So me and my partner branched off, and we had the opportunity to run our own commercial division. So it was me and her running our own commercial division, our own show. But, it came a time to where it's like, hey, you want more, like what else is there out there? And then Daniel and Calvin, they were running the play with the EXP Commercial, and the rest was history. It's kind of like, hey, they must be doing something right? I mean, they were my mentors. If I go here, how can I lose? They were my mentors. Now I get to become a partner with them, right? So I always thought, hey, that was like me striking gold.
Sweet.
Yeah. So with EXP Commercial groups, do you know if you can do you have to be commercial, or can you be a mix? Can you be residential and be part of your group?
So I'm not sure if y'all heard of Resi-Mercial, right? So Resi-Mercial, basically, I basically have a blueprint for Resi-Mercials that actually are residential agents, and they're trying to learn commercial. So we put them through an entire training, process of like, hey, this is like your 12-month plan. This is what you got to do. And then it converts them to figure out what they want to do with their residential pipeline, right? So we gear them up to where, these are icons that are like, hey, I'm tired of residential. I want something different. I'm tired of the emotions or whatever. They just want something they want growth. You just want something different, right? So we teach them how to grow their business while they're doing residential, because obviously they have to put food on the table still, and we teach them how to funnel their deals out to the right people. So they have to find their squad that they are going to funnel these deals out to, so they can actually just go full-time commercial.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's a great way to make that transition, right? So just real quick, can you kind of run through the splits, the fees to be part of EXP commercial, how is that different from the other big players out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a reasonable price compared to you owning your own little commercial division and having all these high fees, right? Because obviously CoStar is basically our vehicle. That's what we run and operate off of. CoStar is basically a system of where it's only for brokers, and they, it's like $500 plus a month, right? As far as fees for EXP commercial, since we have 90,000 agents plus, but commercial side, obviously we don't, it's part of that number. Basically, we get a better discount with CoStar. So EXP was, their price is like 520 plus tax a month to run with EXP commercial, to be a partner with EXP commercial. Now, if you are an outsider at a boutique brokerage trying to get CoStar, it's about 500 plus, just that. But all the tools that you get for EXP commercial is priceless. So really you're paying for CoStar, but you're getting like all these other tools too.
Nice.
Okay. And then the splits at EXP it's like game changing, right? Like other places you're doing 50-50 to begin with, and then 50 split of your 50, another 50 to your leader, right?
Yeah. So here's the deal. The situation is here. Like I came from basically running a commercial division, and I paid a flat fee, which is amazing, right? You're just pushing deals and it's a flat fee that you're paying. To me, I found the value in EXP commercial because it was the network, it was the community, the culture. That's what really drove me here. I was like, you know what, that flat fee is a piece of cake. Like I could let that go because I got all of this here, that icing on the cake, everything here already. And basically, it is for those that are coming on over to EXP commercial, and it resets every single year. It's an 80-20 split, right? Depending on if you have a mentor, because there's some side contracts as well. Somebody's mentoring you, they may take like a 10 or 5% from that or whatever that has to go to them. But that's kind of like on your own with your own negotiations with the new agent or whatnot. But typically it's 80-20. And then when you capping is whenever you hit 100K, right? And basically EXP commercial takes, you hit 20,000. They take, you paid them out 20,000. But remember, when you cap and then when you icon, when you hit 20 deals too, that 20,000 is coming back to you in stocks. So
Right.
That money's coming back to you, exactly how residential is, right? But y'all's fees is a little bit lower. So
Yeah.
20,000.
Okay. So Icon's kind of the same deal. After you cap, you do another 20 transactions, and then you can achieve the Icon Award, which would reward you back your cap,
Right.
20,000 in commercial back to you. So essentially, you get it for free.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got our Mr. 4-time icon, Calvin Wong, right? There's
That's
another.
That's my mentor. He was my mentor. Now he's my business partner.
Yeah. So I was asking him. So Calvin, you actually do 20 transactions after your cap? He's like, no. There's another way, the GCI route, right? I think the GCI route. So residential is 500,000 GCI, and then you can icon, right?
Right.
So it might be similar, or it might be a little bit more. I don't know, but commercial.
Every situation is different.
Yeah, but it's game changing. I mean, there's no other brokerage that's offering the split, the fees, and the ability to get back your cap, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it sucks. I mean, honestly, what really moved me to EXP also is, the generational wealth, right? Because let's say, Laura, Johnny, you're building and you have like a team of 1,000 people, right? You built this up so many years, and then, basically something happens to you because obviously, we're not here forever. The glory of it is, one, your wife could get her license and take over your spot, and she doesn't have to start from bottom. You know what I mean? Or two, your kids, whoever it is, can actually hop into your spot and collect that residual income. She doesn't even need to do commercial real estate or real estate. She
Right.
just needs to plug in, get her license and plug in, and then boom. But then again, she has the network of everybody around you, because obviously whoever you are building with, whoever your partners are, they're going to help your family, help her invest, or connect her with somebody that may be successful in specific investments, or like just basically help her grow her money versus spending it. Some people don't know where to start whenever they have that, right? So for instance, if it was a boutique brokerage that your wife maybe inherited, she doesn't know what to do with it because she was never a broker, right? So the model with the EXP is just a game changer. Like I said, it's amazing. And that's what really moved me, because I was like, if I'm building something right now and it goes to my kids, that's what really moved me.
Yeah, definitely. Powerful stuff. So we're wrapping up here. Kayde, before we do our rapid fire questions here, how can people connect with you? How can they stay in touch with you, learn from you, maybe, become your mentee?
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for a partner or learn commercial real estate or invest, I love connecting with people that are like-minded, who are ready to grow. I mean, you could send me a DM or email. Basically, my email is Kayde, Kayde, at connectiongroup.com. That's connection with a K. So go ahead and send me an email and we can connect. Or, if you guys are, with Johnny or Lore, just get with them and reach out to me, and then we can figure out a game plan for you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to figure out a way to co-sponsor and bring some people over to commercial to help you build your team, as well as just work that out where even though you're down in Dallas, we can find some commercial agents up here that can work with you. So
Right.
I'm pretty psyched about it.
Yeah, definitely. Wherever you're at, Wisconsin, Minnesota, whatever it is, like I said, we could build anywhere. If you have a cousin or somebody that's in New York, Miami, whatever it is, I mean, we're all here to grow together. And co-sponsoring, that's another thing that is a game changer. I have been doing co-sponsoring with a couple of partners. I have John Sy, that's in my downline. I have Brandon Brittingham, that's in my downline. Veronica Figueroa, I don't know if you guys met her at the SpeedCon, and Spring Bee as well. So a lot more are moving on in. And at the same time, like I said, it's a game changer of co-sponsorship, because we all get to partner up together. So I look forward to co-sponsoring with you guys, most definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right, Johnny, you want to ask the rapid fire questions?
Yeah. Let's do that. So what's your number one ninja skill that you are absolutely the best at?
Number one ninja skill, getting deals.
Let's go.
To be honest with you, is just getting the deals. That's funny that you asked that, because I got asked the question. I was like, what don't you like doing most? Because you need to scale that out and hire somebody to do that for you. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, you know what? I don't like the back end stuff. I like marketing and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know if you guys seen, but I've been batching content as well. And it's a must that, I need to do that. And I don't like doing it, but I do it and get it done. I said, you know what? You hold me to my videographer and my photographer. Y'all hold me accountable. Tell me what I need to do and when I need to do it, and that's it. I'm done, right? Because the only thing I'm good at is not the only thing I'm good at, but I feel like my best strength is communicating with the client and getting deals, and I run with it.
Nice.
But everything else, like the back end, marketing, all that stuff, no.
I'm 100% with you.
What was that flyer supposed to be? What? So, I mean, like I said, we can't do it all, because if we do it all, we're cutting out time of helping that next investor or that next, client or whatnot. It's like, we're running out of time during the day if you're busy doing marketing and all this stuff. So yeah, I would say just getting deals.
So next question is, how do you keep your skills sharp?
Continuing education, going to events, learning from other partners, at EXPCon. I cannot tell y'all how much. I mean, I barely slept, but it was, the reason why, obviously, y'all know, mastermind, connecting with other partners that, are doing it, that are there, and how did they do it? Those are free, that's free game. You don't have to pay for that stuff, but when you go to conventions and stuff like that, it sharpens your iron every time. And I feel like one time a year to EXPCon, it's not enough. You have to continue to go to other conventions that's going to help you scale in your business.
Yeah. So yeah, Laura and myself, we're gonna be going out to Vancouver and then to Salt Lake City. You plan on going out?
You gonna join us in Vancouver?
Yes, I have
Let's
to.
go.
JT.
My downline, John Sai's out there. I have to go support him. He's from there, the president.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sweet.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, in Utah, I mean, we're already planning Airbnbs, and like I said, masterminds are that's like a game changer, Yeah.
I'm not allowed to pick Airbnbs anymore, apparently, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to tell you, you gotta link up with John Sai and them, because they had.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
Oh, you were there. Okay.
But then we learned about how much it cost. It was like the cost of our entire Airbnb for the whole trip,
for the whole week
per night.
Yeah, per night.
Hey, it's okay. You're gonna be racking it in anyways. Yeah.
So good.
Anyway,
all right. So next question, right? So, what book has transformed your mindset and your business?
Sheesh, which one? That's hard because there's multiple. Like I could show you.
You can pick multiple.
Yeah, I mean, I have Think and Grow Rich. I've read that maybe like 10 times, and I'm still reading it again. Rich Dad Poor Dad, most definitely. I have my daughter. She's 11, and she read that book. Like she completely I told her, hey, this is the book that is going to get your life going. You must read it. And it's crazy because she read it, and every portion that she was reading, she took notes and she explained it to me. And I feel like that one is always a go-to book right there for anybody trying to jump into the game, into anything, to get your mind right. Rich Dad Poor Dad, definitely go with it.
Yeah, no, that's
funny. I had my 10-year-old boy read it too when he was 10. And, he'd be having he was having conversations with adults, right? My adult friends, and he would be talking to them about the differences between assets and liabilities.
That's amazing.
You guys are super parents.
Yeah, I wish our parents would do that to us. Like, obviously, they
true.
So.
Agreed.
Yeah,
completely agree. All right, and then in your city, what is a must-try eat spot or dining area that you have to try if you come to town?
Okay, so Texas, they always say barbecue, right? So, I mean, honestly, you could get barbecue anywhere. In Coppell, there's a barbecue spot there. Gosh, I just went blank what it's called, but I'll share it with you. And it's the #1 spot. They have the best. It's in Coppell. How did I forget the name? I just went blank. You put me on the spot. That's why. But for barbecue, yes, for there. But if you're going for the views or anything like that, I mean, definitely you'd have to go to downtown. There's like a Vietnamese restaurant that's on a little rooftop. It's a cute, mom and pop place. It's called Sky Blossom. Has a little cute rooftop and stuff like that. And it's Vietnamese food, which is really good.
Sweet. I think that's all the questions that I have. Laura, did you want to ask anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. Were you talking about Heart 8?
Yes. There you go. Yeah. Yes. Hey, you're good. See?
Johnny and I were there. Well, I was just Googling while we were talking. But yeah, we were there last time with John Sai when we did we were doing Build Dallas, right?
Okay, that's right. So, yeah, y'all already went there. So what'd y'all think?
It was good.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest though. I went out to Houston and we grabbed Killen's, and I love that place. Their brisket is so good out there.
I've heard about that, but I've never been. So I'm gonna have to put that.
So, Katie, you're in the DFW area. My family and I, we waited in line at Goldie's. Have you heard of
Oh
Goldie's?
yes. I've never been, but my cousins, they go and they wait in line. Me, so I'm the type that's not gonna wait in line. I'm like, if there's a wait, nah, let's go.
Yeah. So it was
But
like in
I've
the
heard of it.
outskirts. It was in the outskirts of Fort Worth,
Yes.
and
It-
it was good. It
he's
was really
actually
good.
the owner is actually Laos. He's Laos.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? That's super
yes.
cool.
One, it's like three owners,
Yeah.
and one of them is Laos. Yes.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, their brisket is really good. I think it's better than Killen's, Johnny. So
All right. We're gonna have to try it out next time.
I mean, if there's a line, oh no.
we'll call you when the line's moving up. You can just cut.
All right.
You'll cut in with us.
He's like, we're next. Well, I'm there.
All right, Katie. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. It was great having you here and learning about the world of commercial real estate as well as your journey. Hopefully, we're able to inspire some people out there to, take the leap, right, and get into the commercial real estate world. So
yeah, sky's the limit. Let's go. We're always looking for partners, right, guys?
Heck yeah.
Let's build. All right.
Sure. So that's it.
I appreciate you for having me on.
Thank you.
Thank you.